Hello everyone, welcome to the third session that is about basics of Scratch. So before we proceed on what is Scratch and what are the basics of Scratch, I'm going to ask you a few questions. You have to answer it and write on your book, okay? You have to answer yourself and note it down in your book. What do you think is coding? What you've understood about coding till now? Then you remember I've shown you green flag in the Scratch. What happens when we click on that? And what do you like to draw or create using colorful blocks in Scratch? You can give it a try by drawing something which is very interesting because we have already done that. If you could create a magical adventure with coding, where would your characters go? Yeah, come on, answer it for yourself. I hope you are writing it down and share your answers with your parents. Last question is, what do you like most about coding and creating things on computer? Once you write this, you will realize that what is your idea on Scratch and coding. You should question yourself, answer it and share it with your parents. I hope you have written all the answers. I'm so proud of you. Now let's start exploring blocks. You can see on my screen there are a lot of different colorful blocks. Blue, purple, pinkish tone. So there are a lot of different ones, and each color, each block, each category has a different purpose. They are serving some different purpose to us. So we will see each one in the detail. Before we go and see everything in the detail on Scratch, I'm going to give you a rough idea about each category. First one is blue color, motion blocks. Now, what is motion block? The word motion is about making something move. So, if in Scratch programming you want to make something move, or you want to make turn something, or make something walk, or make it rotate, whatever movement you want to add into your character in your game, that can be added using motion. So it is about adding movement in your program. The word itself says motion, so it's easier to understand that it is going to add movement to our character. So movement can be anything. It can be straight, you can go back, you can go up, you can turn, you can rotate. Anything can be done. Then we have looks block. So what looks block is about? It is about how your sprite looks. So you can change the costume of your sprite, you can change how it is appearing. You can make your sprite say something. Isn't that very interesting? When we proceed on the Scratch platform, I'll show you how all that is done. Then the third category which we have is sound block. Now what is sound block about? It is about adding music to your game. Just imagine you play a lot of games on your computer, on your mobile. Have you ever played a game without sound? Also imagine if I ask you to play a game without sound, would you enjoy it? Wouldn't that be very boring? So sound adds a very great sparkle to your project. It changes the way it is looking. It changes the presentation of the project altogether. Then we have events block. Now what is event block? When you have to start something. Every program in Scratch starts with an event block. If you want to make any sprite work, you need event block. Consider you want to say that move when green flag is clicked, that is an event. You say that when you click on the sprite, it should move, right? So whatever, when space key is pressed, you want it to jump. So again, space key is coming as an event. So it is about using event. Then we have control blocks. Control block is about how you control your sprite. You want to control your sprite in certain way. You say that I want to repeat it for 10 times. I want to repeat it forever. Or I want to do something when this particular condition is happening. You are giving certain control. That is where control blocks come in use, where you have to control your sprite in certain method. Then next category which we have is sensing block. Now this blocks helps you to sense the color, sense the sprite, Now see, you would have observed when you play the game, if your character touches coin or something, the score increases. So how the computer, how the program is working. So what is happening? You are adding sensing code that if it is sensing the touch, it should update the score. Isn't that great? Then you can also create your quizzes using ask and wait blocks. Now let's see more categories. The last two categories we will look at. Operator blocks. So operator block is about all math related blocks where you do calculations, where you take random numbers. It is all about numbering. Operator block. Then we have variable block. So variables in programming language are used to store something. Variables are going to be like your container. You store food in your container. In the same way, your score value, your time value, you can store in a variable. We will see how it works in the Scratch platform. So you have to remember all these blocks have a different purpose and they are similar like building blocks. You can connect them to create amazing things in Scratch. So you get to be very creative. You're the boss. You can decide how you want sprite to move. You can decide how it should look. You can control it. You can do a lot of things in your game. So let's proceed on the Scratch and try to explore all the different categories and see what all blocks are there inside it. We have seen all the categories, but now we will see what is there inside motion, what is there inside look practically. So once your idea of all these categories is clear, it becomes easier for us to start coding. First category is motion. In motion, you can see we have move 10 steps, turn 15 degrees, towards the right, towards the left, turn 15. Then we have go to random position, go to X and Y position. You can see if you read all the blocks, they are everything related to motion. So some are used to add, this set is used to set the position, this is to bounce your sprite, this is to rotate it. So you can see all the motion categories are used to make your sprite add movement. Now if I give move 10 steps, it moves forward. Now if I want it to go back, I'll take opposite, I'll take minus 10 and I'll just click here. You can see it's going back. Now I'll just show you what happens when we take turn block. See, every time I click on this block, it's turning. Go to random position. So when I click on this block, every time I click, it goes to the random position. So each block is serving the purpose of moving along with this is about making your sprite move with the mouse. Each block is serving the purpose of making your sprite move in certain different way. Then we come in the look category. The look category mainly is about making sprite speak something. Like see, I do say hello. It says hello. From here, I'll fix the direction. I'll make it stand straight now. I'll make it 90 from here itself, so it's straight. Okay. Now, when I say hello for 2 seconds, it is displaying hello. Then we have think. So it looks like the sprite is thinking something. Then you have option to change your costume. Now when it comes to changing costume, you can specify which kind of costume you want, which particular number costume you want, or you can specify next. So next means what? Every time it keeps updating and you use switch costume when you have to specify one. Same is for the backdrop. We can change the backdrop, we can change the size, we can add colors, we can add effects using looks block. Then we have something very interesting, show and hide, to make your sprite visible and hide to make your sprite invisible. That is really fun. You can decide how many layers, go to front layer, go to forward layer. I'll teach you practically when we do it. Looks class. Now then we have costume number. So you can define which costume number the project is running now. See, this one is first. I'll go to costumes. I'll change it here. You can see what happened here. The costume number got updated to 2. So this is to understand what is happening in your program. Then we have sounds. In sound, you can add the sound which you want to play. To add the sound, you go to sounds category and we add it from here. We have a lot of sounds which are already provided by Scratch. else you can record yourself or you can even upload on yourself, which you have in your computer. Then you have option to stop all the sounds. Once your game is over, you want to stop the sound. That is the reason we have this block. Then we have change pitch. It means how much high you want your sound to go, how much low you want it to be there. You can clear the sound effects. You can change the volume, how you want your volume to be there. Here you can just click here to see what is the volume range going on. So all these are used to develop a high level games. Then we come to the event block. Like I told you, all these event blocks make something happen. If you want to make something happen in the program, you need to start with event block. Consider I want it to move when the sprite is clicked. So I'll take this event. When I press space button, I want it to jump. So I'll take first event and then I'll attach all the blocks. So event is the first block which will always come in any of your program. Any program you do, event should be your first block because that makes something happen. All the basics which I'm clearing in this class, try to listen it properly, because when you do each category, your mind should be clear what is this category about. Now we come to the control. Now here in the control section, you learn to control your sprite. You use wait 1 second, so your sprite can wait for 1 second. Then you use repeat. Why repeat 10? You can take repeat 10. Here you can specify the number. Consider I give 30. So I'll put something inside this. So that task will happen 30 times. How many times the task will happen? 30 times. Then we have forever, to make something happen forever. We have if condition. What is the if? I'll teach you in detail also, but it is about specifying something, that if this particular thing is happening, then do this. Then we have a category called loops in programming language, which we are going to learn here. Wait until, repeat until, that all are our loops. You can see now there is an option stop all. This is used to stop your program once you have given any condition. Then we have clone. What we have? I hope you would have heard about clone. Clone is about creating copy of something. So you will learn how to create copies of your characters in Scratch, and using which we will create very fun games. Then we come to sensing categories. It is used to sense something. Here you can see everywhere touching is there. When it's touching your mouse pointer, when it's touching your edge, once you upload the sprite, once it is touching your sprite, if two sprites touch, what should happen? Or if it is touching specific color, then what should happen, what you want to do. Again, you can sense one color touching to another color. You can use this to make it move with the mouse. Then we have ask block, which is used to make a quiz in the Scratch. So you ask question from the user and user will give the answer, which you can display using this answer block. Then we have key space pressed. Using this, you can control your sprite with all the arrow keys or any key from your keyboard. Then we have mouse down. To control sprite with the mouse, you have mouse X, mouse Y also, so that it moves horizontally, vertically. You can specify. You have timer. You can create a calendar kind of project using this current year and days. You can set your birth date. You can guess what is your age. This kind of programs can be created using these blocks. Now we come to operators. You can see everything here is about maths. You can do all the calculations. You can pick the random numbers, all the calculations here. Again, if it and, or, then we have join. We have the option to calculate length. We have option to calculate mod. So all this is about maths category. Then we come to variables. Like I told you here, when you click, your variable gets visible. You can create a new variable. You can set its value. You can change its value. Consider you want to update the score. That is when you use change. You also have option that in certain areas you can see when the game starts, there are some certain instructions on your screen. That time score is not visible in your game. It gets visible later on. So that way you can specify in Scratch programming also when you want your sprites score to be visible, when you don't want it to be visible. Then we come in my blocks. This is the last category block in Scratch, which is used to create your own block. You want to make your sprite jump, you can design it on your own. You want to make it run, you can design whatever code you want to do, you can create that block. We will see all this in detail in the coming classes. I hope what each category means is clear to you, because this is very important to get started. Go through the video, listen, and if it is possible, just try to note it down, all the basics. Thank you so much.